One. Welcome back to the Chicago Shoot the Shit podcast. I'm Steven Leitner, joined by Brad Leitner, Devin Spellman, and Blake Grantham. All right, let's just get right off the bat, boys. Patrick Kane, 400 career goals. You know, just as soon as you think that he's going to slow down on a team like this, he just continues to produce. Right off the bat, 400 goals. Like, do you guys think this is going to put him in a place for best American-born player of all time?
I vote automatically yes. I mean, Mike Modano, I think before Kane was the greatest American-born player, and I think Kane has passed him up threefold. Honestly, I think he's got a legitimate shot at MVP this year at the way he's playing. I don't think the Blackhawks are anywhere near a playoff spot without Patrick Kane.
I agree. And Patrick Kane is just the best American player in my. I mean, he was the first American to win the Calder Trophy. He was the first American to win the Hart Trophy. He's putting like a lot of American players on the map. And one thing that I think puts him over like those other top guys like Hall, Leach, um, and Madonna is the fact that he's also has 3 Stanley Cups.
And he's got a Conn Smythe as well.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yep.
he's obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that. But I really do think that we are witnessing currently in our home state the greatest American player to ever play the game of hockey.
I think he's like 300 or 400 points behind Brett Hull for first place.
He'll pass Brett Hull. He's 32 this year. He'll pass Brett Hull.
Yeah, he needs 3 more seasons. He'll get there.
To pass Brett Hull in goals?
Points.
Oh, points. Okay, I was going to say, pass Brett Hull in goals is going to be a hell of an accomplishment. I'm just going to say that right now.
I mean, is there any situation, Brad, where you think Patrick Kane doesn't become the best American player of all time?
No, honestly, I mean, we've all seen the trajectory and where this is headed for the last, well, kind of since the first couple years of his career when he first started. And I can't believe, being a Blackhawks fan, obviously, and being just obviously an American hockey fan or USA hockey fan, it's been such a treat to watch. It's like kind of unfathomable to watch like another. I don't want to call him, Michael Jordan, but another like superstar, Hall of Fame, best American-born player to play for our city team here, and just watch his career kind of just pass us by in our eyes so quickly. I mean, my goodness, I remember when he was like 21 years old, still, shooting throwing the puck in the net between Michael Layton's 5-hole to win this Stanley Cup. For the first time in 49 years. But yeah, I don't foresee anything that would happen that would kind of derail outside of injuries, knock on wood, him becoming the best American-born player ever.
And another thing is, Austin Matthews in Toronto may very well be the greatest American player that hasn't put up like all the accolades that a Kane has yet. It's going to be tough for Matthews to catch 3 Stanley Cups with a Conn Smythe and a Hart Trophy. That's just my opinion. I mean, I love Austin Matthews, and Jack Eichel plays for a horrible team in Buffalo, but Patrick Kane has separated himself as the best. I don't think there's any doubt about
and
that.
And another angle to look at it is Patrick Kane has been the role model of American hockey since he entered the league. Like before Patrick Kane, there was no really American like superstar. Like Patrick Kane was the guy coming in with like filthy hands, putting up points, and that really, I think, rejuvenated like American hockey, and people looking up to Patrick Kane. Every like young player coming into the league nowadays, their favorite player is Patrick Kane. Growing up, it's like, oh, my favorite player. Like the influence that he has had on American hockey, I just think with all of the accolades and stuff that he's accomplished, just like puts him on the top for sure. I mean, after this season, he'll be 5th all time in American points.
Yeah, honestly, I completely agree. No doubt in my mind, because who were the 2 guys really before Patrick Kane that were running USA Hockey? You got like Zach Parise, I would say would be the one that was kind of driving it before Kaner, and then maybe even Ryan Suter a little bit as well. It's not really to bash those guys, but that's not really saying much about the USA program. So he really has flipped the switch and turned USA Hockey into somewhat of a powerhouse, if you will, and something fun to follow. So, Kaner, all day, showtime.
Keener.
Showtime, baby.
I mean, is there any other angles on that? I mean, he's going to be playing his 1,000th career game. I think there's a chance that he becomes the best Blackhawk of all time. Will be number retired. You
He's
know,
got some time to go before he becomes the best Blackhawk of all time. But I mean, he's closing in.
How long do you
Closing in
think
for
he
sure.
plays for? How much longer?
I think he plays for another 8 to 10 years. He's 32. He's not slowing down. I can see him playing into his 40s.
I don't actually. A lot of people have been talking about this. I think someone joked one day. I just heard on a podcast the other day about him playing until he was 50. I don't know if it's his trainer or something. It's not gonna happen. I obviously
You can't be 50 and play in today's NHL.
No. I agree with that. I mean, to a degree, but at the same time, I would think I don't know if he'll get to 40 actually. I think that eventually, because of all the accomplishments he's had over his career, maybe if he's trying to eclipse like one last milestone in a point total or in a goal total, he might just stretch it out. But
I don't know. He's a hockey junkie, man.
he's
all
done it
about
all,
hockey.
man. Like he's kind of one of those guys I could just see like, okay, that's cool. Like,
dude, he's
kinda walking away.
He's the last one on the ice every single day. He like ever since he entered the league, he still does that to this day. Like he's just the overall hockey junkie. Like he just eats, breathes, and sleeps hockey. I could see him playing until he's like 40, 42.
Oh, with the
I don't know,
Blackhawks?
man. Yeah. I don't think
oh
he's
yeah,
a
okay.
player like
I was just gonna say, so that spars my question then. Does he finish his career in Chicago, or is it in Buffalo or somewhere else, etc.?
No, all right. In a situation like that, say he's 39, he's producing at like a decent rate, but the Blackhawks are garbage, then I would say, he'd probably finish his career elsewhere to try to win a Stanley Cup, would be my guess.
You think
It
he would
really
go to a
Kind
team with
of
a,
like a Ray Bork.
You
It
think he would go
depends
somewhere
on
to win a
how
cup?
long are those hands in that shot going to last? He doesn't play a physical game, and he's not the quickest guy out there. What separates him is when he's stick handling in the offensive zone, he freezes defenders. Like if he's putting the puck on his backhand and dribbling and stick handling, he's like switching to forehand and then doing some crossovers. There's no way to defend that when you're on a slippery surface. I don't care who you are. You could be a fucking, penguin. You're not going to be able to defend that. You can spend your whole life on ice. So
I
I
don't
just
think-
think as long as the hands and the shot hold up, he can play as long as he wants. That'll never die in hockey. The ability to score and the ability to create space with your hands. Like you don't need to be overly physical to do that. So that's why I feel like he will age well. And he is aging well so far, better than Taves.
Dude, he's gotten better as he's gotten older. It's just like he just keeps on getting better and better. And like you said, I mean his skill set like goes along with age.
Right.
And
Think of a guy like Taves, a guy that grinds along the boards behind the net, guy that takes hits, wins puck battles. He was more so known for his feet, especially when he was younger. Like that's not really Kaner's game, and I think that will definitely make an effect on like who deteriorates quicker.
I mean, dude, Kaner's 32 right now, and he's playing the best hockey of his career. He's not slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I completely agree. It's more so just like the elusiveness that he has right now. He's still not the quickest guy, but he's shifty enough to kind of get in and out of spaces to avoid those checks and those dangerous areas, if you will. I agree. Yeah, obviously the hands. I don't think the hands are ever going to slow down. You're talking about the guy who's probably got the best hands. I don't even think anyone, or at least I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking McDavid, Crosby. He's got the best hands I think I've ever seen. Maybe Kovalev's the only other guy I can see that might have better hands, but yeah, I don't think it's ever really gonna go away until he's like maybe 60. Honestly, like he probably will still have great hands by then. Same thing with the shot. I don't let the shot really die either, but I think the first thing it might go is the shiftiness, the quickness with the feet and the legs, and if that goes, then he's kind of just I don't want to say he's one dimensional, but he's a little stuck.
I mean, I could see him playing late. I mean, Joe Thornton's still playing in the league, and he started playing the year I was born. So,
Yeah. I mean, they could play a similar style game. Joe Thornton is known for his playmaking, his assisting, one of the best passers out there in the game. I could see Kane doing the exact same thing later on in his career, just becoming racking up crazy amounts of assists. So, not that he doesn't already, but
anything on Patty Kane before we move on to the next one?
Does he get another cup?
oh, I hope so. Don't know though.
I think he'd probably get another MVP. He might get one this season.
Fair enough, yeah.
If the
Yeah,
Hawks
I
make
don't
the
know.
playoffs this season, he's the main reason why. I think if that bad of a team makes the playoffs with Kane leading it, he deserves to win the Hart, even if like somebody has 15 more points than he does.
I'm just gonna throw a prediction out there. I have a weird kind of a feeling in my gut that says he will get one more, and I think it might be with the Hawks.
Huh?
It's kind of a wild, stretch of imagination there, but I kind of have a funny feeling.
I don't know. In the next few years, I don't see the Hawks being good enough for a cup. It's fun watching them now, but
They're all young. That joke about
there's no
eight.
superstars.
They only have 8 guys on that team that can rent a car right now. So think about that.
Yeah, but there's no superstars. There's no other Patrick Kanes. I mean, you have Kirby Doc, but like, there's no elite other like. I love watching the rookies play this year, but there's no like elite superstar talent coming up through the pipeline.
Coming up through the pipeline. No, but you still have your younger defensemen that are still coming up that could be superstar players like Boquist and Ian Mitchell and Bodan coming up that are still kind of like progressing and really
I mean,
getting their feet
the
underneath
only one
them.
that I think that could be a superstar out of them is Adam Boquist. He has the highest ceiling. I think superstar is kind of a strong stretch there.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, hey, hockey is a team sport. You don't need a superstar team to win. You just need a lot of good, solid, well-rounded team of like
Since
good
when?
players to
Tampa
win.
Bay Lightning were stacked.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning were
The
stacked.
Blues were absolutely stacked. They were super deep.
A
Dude,
good
I mean, if you
solid
look at all
team
the,
will get you to the playoffs. You're not going to win a cup with that team, though.
that's what I'm saying. They just don't have like like super elite talent, like a
You gotta
superstar
have,
player to
it's a
lead
little
them.
like
I don't know. Some of
basketball
the
in
teams
LA.
I've seen
Not
go
that
to the
game.
Stanley Cup, like Vegas and stuff, with not having superstar talent. I mean, anything's possible in hockey, if I'm being honest.
Mark Stone and Marchessault are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Vegas went to the Cup final without Mark Stone. Think about that.
Did they go to the cup final without Marchessault?
Yeah,
No, they had
because
they
they
had
didn't even win
Marchessault,
the.
but
Guess
that's
what?
that was their best
They lost
talent,
to the better
Marchessault.
team. They lost to the better team.
They
lost
did,
to
but they
the
went all the way to the
superstar
Cup final.
team.
Like, I'm
And
just
then they lost
saying,
in 5 games. They didn't win.
sure, that's fair, but they got close.
I mean, close only counts in horseshoes and hands, Brad.
I'm making a point here that you don't have to be the best team to win, so they can.
Well,
You
think
never
of
know. They
all
might
the
luck.
five-
They might just luck
think
into
of the
one.
think of the last 6 Stanley Cup winners. Each of those teams had premium superstar talent on them.
Now I'm gonna try to retrace all the years in my head about if I could come up with a loophole here, but off the top of my head, I'm blanking right now.
You can't.
Yeah, you can. LA Kings.
Drew Doughty, Anze
Drew Doughty's not a
Kopitar,
superstar. Give me a break. That's a joke.
in his prime,
He
in
was
in
never a
2014.
superstar. He was always
Dude,
like
do you know how deep that team
He
was?
was always like a slightly better Justin Falk.
Dude, no.
He gets way
When he was in
overhyped.
his prime, he was an absolute monster.
He's
Drew Doughty
still
is
a
not out there
beast.
scoring goals. He's not scoring goals every shift. All right, like, give me a break.
Okay, Duncan Keith doesn't score goals every shift. What the fuck are you talking about?
The superstar defenseman is like Nick Lidstrom that you can count on 10 to 15 a year, no doubt. 35 assists, going to take you to a cup final with his leadership. There's no defenseman like that in the NHL today, as far as I'm concerned.
You're not gonna count Dunks as like a Nick Lidstrom-esque.
I mean, he's not going to
He's
score
not-
1,000
Duncan
points.
Keith doesn't score goals.
No, he doesn't
Lidstrom
score
scores.
goals.
Lidstrom could score no matter what age he was. He would put the puck in the net.
I'm just saying, like, star talent, like Drew Doughty is an all-star. He's a Norris Trophy winner. Like, that team was absolutely stacked.
Second overall pick, like yeah, Drew Doughty's a beast. I would second that.
Nah, dude, he's really not. I mean, if you want to look at his stats, you can, but like, he's not that good. Drew Doughty's way overrated.
You must be a Matthew Tkachuk fan if I had to guess, huh?
Dude,
That team was
watch
absolutely
the
stacked.
game.
And if you're taking that argument,
Not good.
he was absolutely stacked. If you're taking that argument that team wasn't deep, then that was 7 years ago.
Team
That-
was
The last time they
that
won.
team was just a solid team. Their superstar was Jonathan Quick. That's who.
Anze Kopitar, you're not going to say he's a superstar?
No. No, not
Okay.
even close.
So do
He's
you
a good,
consider
solid player.
Jonathan Taves
Yeah.
to be a superstar?
Yeah, you're pushing it. Like, you really are. Like they
Because like
were superstars. These guys are not superstars anymore. Crosby's not a superstar anymore. The game's passed them up. They're good players, no
I'm
doubt.
talking about in 2014, not right now.
I still like in 2014. You want to call Drew Doughty a superstar? Be my guest, but I laugh at that.
Yeah, dude, the dude fucking played 27 minutes a night.
I think
was
he had
I
almost
don't
70
care. He's not a
points.
superstar because he plays 27 minutes a night. It means he's their best defenseman.
That team was deep. They had a lot of stars on that team. All right.
No, they didn't. It's Dustin Brown's not a superstar. I'm sorry.
Never said Dustin Brown was a
The
superstar.
Well, then who are
okay,
you
so
talking about?
in
Who could
all right,
possibly be a
guys, all right,
superstar?
let's let the stats talk for themselves here for a second. Drew Doughty in the 2013-2014 season played 78 games. He scored 10 goals, 27 assists, so 37 points. He's a plus minus of 17. And wait, I'm sorry, did I read the wrong year? I thought I did for a second. And he had what? 6 power play goals.
Okay, well then, was Daniel Chara ever a superstar defenseman then? He never put up more than like 50 or 40 points a season.
Drew Doughty's best season was 60 points back in 2017.
I was asking Devin, like, what do you think about Zdeno Chara? Is he like a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, Zdeno Chara is a surefire Hall of Famer.
I mean, he never really put up points.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He
why
had
would he?
over 20 goals one year?
Okay, but like, he never really put up a bunch of points. The most he ever put up was probably 50 something points.
Okay, well, if you score over 20 goals as a defenseman, then I think you're a really good defenseman, possibly superstar. Superstar defenseman.
So had Drew Doughty scored a season of 20 goals, he'd just be considered a superstar then.
You got to have a lot of assists. A defenseman's job is to move the puck to the forwards. So if they don't have
Fucking Drew Doughty does.
If they don't no, he doesn't, Steven. 23 assists, okay? That's what I'm talking about.
That's one season.
Listen. Whenever I watch Kings games, this is what I see. Drew Doughty trying to pass to someone in the neutral zone, and the puck's 10 feet in front of him or 10 feet behind him, all right? If he doesn't carry the puck himself, the puck's going for icing, all right? That's what happens. That's what I see, all right? And the assists speak for themselves. The guy can't move the puck. All right?
He had plenty other seasons where he had more assists.
He can play well defensively. Him and Keith are really, stingy defensemen. They're good at, keeping close gaps, but I just like the tape-to-tape passes aren't there for me, and the overall sense and like the ozone's not there for me. Like I said, I see him coughing up a lot of pucks, and I have for a long time. It's not just like now. But I watch the games, like I see what goes on. He's gonna get points because he plays like the most minutes.
All right.
Back to what I was saying with the star talent. I thought those teams had a lot of star talent. I just don't think like the Vegas is an anomaly and they didn't even win.
Yeah, it was an anomaly. I think.
I mean, last year you got Tampa Bay obviously stacked. The Blues,
Dallas making it last year. I know they're
Petrangelo. They had Tarasenko. They were absolutely stacked. The year before that was the Caps: Ovi, Backstrom, Carlson, Holtby. The 2 years before that was the Penguins: Crosby and Malkin and Letang. Then you have the Blackhawks dynasty with their stars. As much as Devin says that they weren't stars, the Kings had star talent on their team. The Bruins had Zdeno Chara, Bergeron, Marchand, Sagan. They were super deep. And then in 2009, it was the Penguins again, and then the Red Wings team was stacked. All these cup-winning teams have star players.
right. No, I completely agree with that. But you're forgetting that I think the Hawks, they still have those star players on the team.
Patrick Kane's the only star on the team right now.
You're right, because Taves is not playing, but I mean, you still have Keith, and I don't think Keith has played
Keith is
poorly
not
at
a
all.
star anymore.
Why? Because the team is not good anymore?
He's not a star.
Like, this is the kind of stuff that just bothers me.
He's 37 years old, Brad. He's not the same player he was 5-6 years ago.
Listen, a star defenseman, maybe this is just back in the day that I'm talking about, but a star defenseman was a threat to score a goal when he was on the ice. And I get that there's more shot blocks in today's NHL, but there's still defensemen that know how to get pucks through, or at least that can rack up assists. They know who to pass it to that's going to be dangerous enough to score.
I mean, you can score 8 goals and have 80 assists and still be a star defenseman.
I mean, that would be amazing if a defenseman was able to do that.
I'm just saying, like, it's not all about the goals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Like,
know,
if
but
a
like
defenseman has 12 goals, they're going to say it's not a good enough season to be a star.
a defenseman needs to score goals if he's going to be considered a star defenseman in my mind. Because a defenseman's job is already hard enough trying to keep the puck out of the net. So if they're putting in goals, then yes, you get my superstar nod. If you're not putting in goals and you're not, a good passer, especially through the neutral zone, I just like I have a hard time calling you a superstar defenseman. It's like, you know, in today's NHL, it seems a lot like you're either an offensive defenseman or you're a shutdown guy. Like you're built like Nicholas Chalmerson and just like block shots. So guys that can do both, I think, are well deserving of that category. I think a really good year for a defenseman, 5 to 10 goals. Like anything more than that is extra credit, but 5 or 10 goals is pretty good.
So what's your assist number then?
I'm sorry.
What's your minimum assist number then?
A minimum assist number I think should be like 30 or higher, especially if you're on the power plays, like the first power play unit. You should be racking up assists, man. I remember during like the Conn Smythe years of Duncan Keith, he did have low goal totals, but his assists were between 35, 40, and like 50 and 60. Like he was racking up assists. That
Yeah.
was a good team, and he benefited from playing with some good players that he's not benefiting from now. That's very true. But like I said, the superstar rating I think should be reserved for the defenseman that can not only defend like Duncan Keith, but can score like Erik Karlsson.
All right, so So there's got to be a very minimal amount of. This is the last thing we'll touch on before we move on. But who are superstar defensemen in today's NHL? Are there any then?
I don't think so. Nobody really comes to mind. Maybe that's because of the way the NHL's played nowadays, where every single guy on the ice is responsible for making sure that puck doesn't go in the net. You see guys like, if you want to watch tape from back in the day, when Hal Gill especially would wind up for slap shots, everyone got out of the way, including his own teammates. And if somebody tipped it, it was like, wow, look at that. Somebody just tipped that for a goal. Nowadays, they're shooting for tips. Guys are looking for those. It's a play. It's like a preset play. Just the skill is just unbelievable. So I have a heart. Like I said, I don't know if I can really pinpoint a star, true superstar, like a difference-making, game-changing defenseman right now. Because Erik Karlsson is absolute hot garbage in San Jose right now.
Well, I'm going to take a different angle. Like, I don't think the superstar. I think there's a superstar defenseman and a superstar, forward. I think you can probably they're different meanings. Like Cale Makar right now, I think he's got a chance to be a superstar defenseman. He's an absolute stud. Quinn Hughes is kind of on that trajectory as well. There's a lot of young defensemen coming up that are kind of playing the part.
I see you guys on the trajectory. I just don't think that they're there yet. Like I said, I kind of have a Nicholas Lidstrom bar set for a superstar label for a defenseman.
Nicholas Lidstrom's the top 3 defensemen all time.
That's the most recent guy, though. Like there's Paul Coffey was the guy before him. It's like very, very, because most of those guys end up playing forward. If you're that dangerous of a defenseman, then you're just going to play forward. But there's some guys that are just so good at actual defense, and then they happen to be really good at offense too. And like I said, those guys will come, and they may already be here, but they're not there yet. Because the league's all about young guys right now. Defensemen take a little bit longer. So,
last thing before we move on, I'm just going to say, no defenseman's going to score at that same clip just because the NHL doesn't work that way anymore. The pads are bigger. It's a tighter game. Points aren't going to be going up every once, as much as they did. I mean, Nick Lidstrom was playing in the 90s, so defensemen aren't supposed to be scoring, those amount of points, in today's NHL. But all right, next on J.J. Watt, we got him signed with the Arizona Coyotes. Thoughts?
Cardinals.
Or yeah, I said the Coyotes. Oh my god.
A little bit of the wrong sport there, huh?
God, you got me on the hockey thing. Cardinals. All right, what do we got? What do you guys think?
Did not see it coming at all.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the only reason why
blindsided.
Nuke was there, but that's about it.
Fucking blindsided.
I thought he was gonna end up. For some reason, I thought he was gonna go to Buffalo. I don't know why. I just thought. That's where he would
I had
go.
some weird idea that
Or
it was
Miami,
like Cleveland or Buffalo or some I don't want to call it oddball team, but those
Green
kind of
Bay maybe would have
very
got
close
him.
teams. Maybe Green. Yeah, I had Green Bay, Cleveland, and Buffalo were my choice. That was my top 3. I had Arizona was not even close to on my radar as far as the destination for him.
So
Well, he's
now,
gonna go somewhere. I mean, Arizona's on the rise right now. That's a young team that's
I agree.
looking to get better.
so
Yeah, I think a lot of
who's-
potential for the Cardinals.
who's the best in the NFC West now?
I gotta go with the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah.
Just not even. I still not really close.
Mm.
Well, it looks like the Seahawks are going to be a mess now, so I
Yeah.
think they're probably third now.
I
Yep.
think the Seahawks are gonna trade Wilson. Sounds like they're unhappy.
Yep. I think they are going
mean,
to.
If they trade Wilson, there's no way that team's gonna beat anyone this year.
No.
They have a leaky O line. They got problems on defense. Like the Seahawks without Wilson is a garbage team.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I 100% agreed with that one.
Yeah, let's
He
hope
makes
they
that. He
trade
makes
Wilson.
that offense go, man.
He does. He's a future Hall of Famer.
So
Going to the Bears, right?
maybe. So then, what do you think happens to Jimmy G in San Francisco? Because I keep hearing he's on the trading block or wants out of San Francisco, or they want him out of San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't think they like Jimmy G down there. They do have what is it, the 6th overall draft pick this year? They have
Yeah.
a high enough pick to take a quarterback. I don't think Mullins is the answer there.
Nah.
He's a good backup, I think, but I don't think he's a starting quarterback in this league.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, I'm really.
Yeah, I could see them
curious to
taking like a Zach Wilson.
The most interesting thing about that draft, or the upcoming draft, I should say, is that the fact that Miami picks twice in the top 10. I think there's no way they don't end up moving one of those picks.
Don't have a what?
Miami picks twice in the top 10.
Yeah, you said that no way they don't have what in the what out of those picks?
I said I don't think there's any way they end up making both of those picks. I think they're going to end up trading at least one
Oh,
of them.
trading him. Okay. Yeah, they darn well could. You never know. Or getting a player out of it.
Well, like there's a lot of quarterback needy teams. And like I said, Miami is definitely not one of them unless they've already given up on Tua. Which
I
it
mean,
sounds like
I'm
some
100%
of the players
at a
don't sound like
proven.
they're
The
on-
Cardinals gave up
Yeah.
on Josh Rosen after a season. It's not like it's out of the realm of possibility.
Where did they take Josh Rosen? Was he a top
Tampa.
15 pick?
10th. He was 10th overall.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, said where to go?
And then they got the first overall pick, and they picked Kyler, which they made the right decision. But I do respect the team to say, hey, we fucked up getting Josh Rosen. We're just gonna bite the bullet and draft another QB.
Yeah, imagine Ryan Pace doing that.
Well, he's traded him all our first round picks.
Pace would have played Josh Rosen up until the last year when he had to decide whether to extend his contract or not.
100%. Could totally see that.
All right, here's a
As he
question.
kind of
If
already
you-
did with Trubisky.
If
Anyway.
you were facing murder charges and you had to pick one guy to defend you in court, who would it be, Pace or Nagy?
Nagy.
Oh, 100% Nagy. Fuck.
Nagy.
We've all seen the
Nagy's
picture
so much
of.
more likable than Pace.
Oh,
is.
likable. He'll at least defend you. Pace is just gonna be back in there just quiet and hide.
Yeah, I like the collaboration me and my client had. We had some really good collaboration today. We're just up to our necks in collaboration over here.
Oh my goodness.
Just love the collabs.
Listen, guys, no one has collaboration like the Chicago Bears, all right?
Hey, it's the best atmosphere in football. Okay.
Collaboration
in all
wins
sports.
championships.
Collaborate and listen.
Collaborate.
Collaborate.
Goodness gracious. Where we got off the JJ Watt topic. Do we have anything else to add to that?
Not really. I mean,
No.
I was just shocked. I did not think Arizona at all.
I don't know if he's gonna make a big difference. I think he's still good, but it's not like bought from 5 years ago or anything before all the surgery.
Yeah, I 100%. I said the same thing to Steve, and I said, okay, this is a great, addition for the Cardinals. I basically said I love JJ Watt. I think he's a heck of a player. Might even be a future Hall of Famer for sure, in the future. Is he that dominant force he was when he was defensive player of the league every year, like what Aaron Donald is now? No. And I don't think that he's going to take the Cardinals from being an 8-win team or a 9-win team, I don't remember what they were last year, to
Eight.
and make them a 12 team, a 12-win team. I just don't think
And
that he's going to make that
NFL
much of a difference. You still have to
There's a
take
lot of
steps
parity in
elsewhere.
the NFL from season to season. And it looks like the Seahawks are going to be taking a step back. It'll be interesting to see what the 49ers do, but it's another year under Kyler Murray's belt, another year to work with DeAndre Hopkins, really get that offense solidified, and you're just getting another baller on your defense. I mean, this is a young and up and coming team. I think they can, have a chance to, sneak into the playoffs in that division.
Yeah, I think they can sneak in the playoffs. Are they
I
a
mean,
Super Bowl
nine and
contender
seven.
next year?
Nine and
I think that's a
seven, they
stretch.
deserve to be in the playoffs over the Bears. I can tell you that.
Well,
Or 8-8, whatever.
I think anyone in the sports world would agree with that.
Can we talk about that for a second, if we could, just for
Yeah.
a moment? How do the Bears get into the playoffs next year with the schedule that they're facing? Is there a route to the playoffs for the Chicago?
No, there's not a single
No,
chance they're going to make the
absolutely
playoffs
not.
next year.
I think
Unless they have
there
Russell
is
Wilson.
a chance. There's always a chance, right? I mean, what's the best possible scenario the Bears go into the 2021 season with? For me, I think the best possible scenario is a revamped offensive line and a new quarterback. I don't know what the heck's going to happen with Allen Robinson. He's probably not going to be a Bear next year. So I don't know what kind of targets we're looking at, honestly. I mean, Jimmy Graham's probably going to have to be shed for salary cap relief just so that we can sign draft picks. I just I don't know how you make a good offense with the limited flexibility that we have. I mean, we have all of our draft picks this year. I don't know if we have one or two more, maybe in the second or third round, maybe. But there's just not enough resources to fix this offense, man. Even if we know exactly what we need, there's too many holes. I mean, the two tackle positions need revamp. The quarterback obviously, and then the weapons. I mean, we had guys throwing punches at defenders during games because they were so frustrated. It was embarrassing. This offense, I don't think could have been. I think the Clemson offense last year in college was better than the Chicago Bears offense.
Fair enough, yeah.
Oh, that's
That's embarrassing.
I don't think anyone disagrees with that.
So
we need offense. I just don't know where you find it. I mean, the quarterback and the O line are kind of important.
So the Bears got the Cardinals
little
next
bit.
year, Baltimore, at Cleveland, at the Rams,
Oh my gosh.
at Pittsburgh, and at Tampa Bay.
That's
Yeah,
there's
that's
not a
murder.
chance.
A lot of L's there.
That is
There's not a
murder
chance
row.
they make the playoffs.
There's 6 losses right there. I mean, unless you figure an upset, but I don't know how you figure an upset when your team can't score.
Right.
Like you can maybe figure an upset if your team is like Baltimore or Cleveland, where you can put up 35, maybe even 40, possibly. But there's no chance that the Bears ever come anywhere near that. So I gotta say no. There's no way they make the playoffs next year.
All right.
And I can attribute that to the schedule.
So then, who should they take in the draft this year?
I really, I would prefer the Bears to trade up and get a quarterback. But if we're picking 20, please give me a tackle, left
Right.
or right. Just please give me a tackle. I don't want to see Leno or Massey play another game in a Chicago uniform.
Devin, weren't you saying that a rookie QB could lead the Bears to the playoffs?
Yeah, I absolutely do. Justin Herbert could have led San Diego to the playoffs this year if they weren't inept on every other part of the ball, like defense and special teams.
I mean,
And he
that's
wasn't
assuming
first
that there's a
overall.
Justin Herbert in the draft.
There is a
Yeah, that's
Justin
kind of
Herbert
a-
in this year's draft. There's 6 good quarterbacks in this year's draft. They won't
Not all
make
6
it.
quarterbacks are going to be all stars like Justin Herbert.
Well, I'm just saying that the Justin
You can't
Herbert
just
draft,
insert quarterback and think that he's going to produce and put a team into the playoffs
okay,
right
so
away.
Then I would say to you, look at the traits of a Justin Herbert pre-draft. Look at the traits of some other guys like Jake Allen that they weren't highly projected
Josh Allen.
in their draft class. Josh Allen, sorry. They weren't highly projected in their draft class, but they had certain traits that maybe that they shared. Like one trait that I saw similarly between Herbert and Josh Allen is that they both were considered gunslingers that didn't necessarily know how to read complex defenses because of where they played, and they were known to throw the ball into some tightly contested areas, but they both had the arm ability. Like they could both release the ball, hit downfield receivers, hit guys in stride. They had the arm strength to do stuff like that. And once they got to the NFL and they received NFL quality coaching, they were able to put it all together. I want to take a guy like that. And to me, that guy this year is Mac Jones. I see too many similarities. He's not a guy that's going to take off and run. He's not a guy that's going to be looking to make plays with his feet all the time. He's a
But
guy
Herbert
that's
and
gonna
Allen
wanna
are
sit
those
there.
guys that make plays with their feet.
He can, like he can too. He's not known for that. He would prefer to deliver the football because he's got an accurate arm and he knows it. And he was hitting guys that can sprint faster than most guys in college over there at Alabama in stride, way down the field every single time. Throws that Trubisky couldn't have made this year after playing in the NFL as long as he did. So I think Mac Jones or anyone before him on the draft board, like Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Lawrence is taken first overall. I think any of those guys are automatically an improvement over Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles.
CBS mock draft currently has Mac Jones going New Orleans at 28.
There's no way the Bears let Mac Jones buy if he's there at 20. I have a hard time seeing that. Um, just because of think of how many quarterback needy teams are between 10 and 15. And then you start going from 15 to 20. You got the Redskins, you got possibly Dallas, you got New England. Um, there's too many quarterback needy teams in there that I don't think that that he lasts that long. But I mean, we'll see. You never know.
So what are you willing to trade to get Mac Jones? You willing to sacrifice 2 first-rounders?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. At that point, you sign a guy and you insulate it the best that you can. But if you have a chance to get up into that realm, like out of the 6 quarterbacks, if you can get a guy that's 4 or higher, I think that you got to make that trade because I think there's a good chance those guys could be the future of this league. I really do. Trey Lance is screaming um, 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 Pat Mahomes. He looks like Pat Mahomes from college. He had like over 20 touchdowns to very few interceptions. He was pretty much immaculate in a
He also played at
lower.
North Dakota State, though.
Right, it's Division 1, but it's at North Dakota, right? So he's not playing against the best kids in the country. But he dominated. Like he dominated the way that Mahomes did at Texas Tech, which is another small college. So people are kind of like without Mahomes, I don't think Trey Lance is as highly regarded as he is, but because like he has so many like similar qualities, at least at North Dakota, that I think people are valuing him pretty high. I prefer quarterbacks that have played against the best, like the Deshaun Watsons or the Mac Jones, just because they've played against the best and with the best.
I mean, if you have a player like Pat Mahomes, he never really played against any crazy. Oh, is he playing in the Big 12? There's not really many great quarterbacks that come out of that, and it's not like it's the most elite schools in the nation.
Right, that's Trey Lance. Trey Lance is in that same category, I think, that Pat Mahomes was in before college or before the draft. Just balling out at a school that isn't necessarily the top of the competition, but they're clearly good. Like he's clearly a really good quarterback. So you got to hope that if you're taking a guy like Trey Lance, that he's going to pan out against guys that he hasn't seen before. You know, guys that are faster, blah blah blah. Trey Lance is going to be a very interesting guy to see at the draft. He could end up falling very like a lot of picks, and he could end up getting taken very high because Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. So you don't know with Trey Lance. He's a wild card. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
The way I see it, if Mac Jones is there 20, I'm willing to take him. I'm not sure if I want to insert him into my lineup right or into the starting role right away. Maybe give him half a season on the bench or the entire season. I mean, if he's not there, I say trade back, try to get some linemen, and maybe go the route of trading for a Sam Darnold. Hopefully. I mean, I wouldn't do it if it's a first-round pick, but if it's a second or anything less than a second, then I would trade for Darnold and put him into the starting role. Or it looks like Alex Smith is going to potentially be that starter, and I'd much rather have him be the starter than Nick Foles going into next season.
Agreed.
Whoever's going to be the Bears quarterback isn't going to have any weapons to throw to. Allen Robinson's most likely going to be gone. I know Ryan Pace has recently said something about keeping him, but I don't think there's really a good chance of that happening. And whoever's the QB is not going to have anybody on offense to throw to. There's just no way that this team is going to be competitive for a playoff spot. The outlook of next season is not very bright.
Yeah, and another thing, one thing to think about is I don't think the Bears are going to get a Watson or Russ, but if they do, those guys have a way of covering up a lot of holes that you didn't even realize were there. I mean, you see when you take a guy like who's the guy? Like if you take Mahomes, let's say, I guess, for example, but if you take him off of the Kansas City roster, you saw how Chad Henne was. All of a sudden Kansas City's got no weapons because this like Chad Henne's the quarterback. I think you bring a guy like Russell Wilson, and then you realize, Miller's actually a lot better than we realized. It's just that he didn't have a quarterback throwing to him, or Cole Kmet's this really great receiver. You had no idea. I think that if you get a playmaking quarterback, all of a sudden you have all these playmakers possibly.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, you can't fix someone that drops the fucking football.
Yeah, I mean,
I definitely get what you're saying. He can cover up a lot of holes, but I fucking Anthony Miller, dude. That dude dropped so many passes. I think he's garbage. But I mean, potentially, there's a chance that they could, but even with Russ or Deshaun on that offense is just kind of scary to me. You really have to pull something out of his ass. But I mean, the chance of the Bears getting one of those guys is less than 1%.
Yep. And let's just think for a second. What do the Bears actually have on offense? Montgomery looked good last year, especially during the latter half of the season. We all watched that. He was good, especially with a terrible offensive line. I think we have the interior of our line, center, guards. I think we're good there. Whitehair, Daniels, and who was our center? Mustafa.
He was pretty decent.
Looked great at center for us. I really do think that we've got the interior figured out, with Ifedi and Bars being backups to those roles. You gotta find a way to get some good tackles if you want to make the playoffs this year. If they're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year, I want Mack gone. I want Smith gone. Roquan. I want everyone gone. All right. If we're not going for the Super Bowl, please don't go for 8th overall goddamn draft pick.
They're gonna try to win.
Stay in sports purgatory.
They're going to try to win because, they need to save their jobs, but they're not going to do well with the players that they have on their team right now. They're going to be in that purgatory either way.
You can't, in sports, if you're good, then you have to do whatever is necessary to be championship caliber. If you are not championship caliber, you have to have that honest conversation with yourself. Then you have to tear it down. Now, I do agree.
We're talking about the Bears here, by the way.
I know we're talking about the Bears here. That's what I'm talking about. I realize Pace is fighting for his job. Personally, I don't think that should have an impact on what he does for our team, but I know it will. So
he's not going to tear it down. He needs to win. That's what ownership said.
Right. It's not the best thing for us. This is not a championship caliber team after one off season. I think we all know that. It's just to be a championship team, you need to have had that quarterback, and you need to have had him there for at least a year, in my mind, for him to grow in that system. You're not just going to go find a quarterback either in the draft or off the streets. I don't care if it's Trevor Lawrence. He's not going to come in here and win us a Super Bowl. There's no way. That's really where I'm coming from with the rookie quarterback thing. I realize we're not winning a Super Bowl this year. Let's get the rookie in here this year and get that ball rolling. Rookies don't develop better than when they're playing. Okay, I know a lot of people want us to take the rookie and let him sit for a year behind Foles or Fitz, but the best way to develop a guy, put him in there, let him make mistakes, and let him learn from those mistakes, and then we get better from there. The longer you wait for that, the longer that process is going to take. You're just delaying it another year if you're gonna say, oh, let's just go get a plug like a Jameis Winston, who had LASIK eye surgery and now he's not going to throw 30 interceptions.
Yeah, but
come on, give me a break.
If you're trying to compete, you're not going to get a rookie QB and just throw him in there right away and be like, all right, compete. Take us to the playoffs.
I mean, when was the last time a team won a Super Bowl without a top half of the league quarterback? Was it the Giants with Eli Manning?
I mean, in his time, he was a top QB. I mean, it's probably been since Joe Flacco. Would be my guess. Joe Flacco, 2012.
Yeah, Joe Flacco for sure.
Joe Flacco was good. I don't know if he was ever a superstar quarterback.
No, that's what we're saying.
That's
He
what we're
wasn't. Yeah.
That's what we're agreeing. That's what the last quarterback that was like that was Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, you can win without a superstar, but yeah, you at least got to be able to have a guy that doesn't throw picks and can make the right throws, the safe throws, without much issue. So,
Not trying to throw shade on Peyton Manning, but he's definitely not the reason why the Super Bowl in 2015.
no, Denver's defense.
I'll tell you that.
They won the Super Bowl. They carried Manning to that Super Bowl. And Gary Kubiak got a lot of credit for that, which I don't understand that either. I mean, the defense won that Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
Well, Brad, what would you do?
What would I do?
In the
If you're
draft.
the GM of the Bear, if you were Ryan Pace right now and you knew your job was on the line, what would you do heading into the draft? What's your answer to fix this offense?
Well, I kind of actually gave my answer, but it was it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I want to go over it again, but I guess in a quick rundown, similar to what you did, right? You have to take care of the tackle position. Check it off the list for sure. With 20 overall, do not take a quarterback. This is my ideal solution. So take the tackle. Then you obviously need to go out and probably fill some weapons, right? Get maybe a big wide receiver you can throw the ball to, whether it's your red zone target that's like 6'5", 230. It could jump up and get the ball, like replacing an A-Rob. That'd be kind of nice. Or maybe trade up somehow with another pick to get somebody in the first round, second round. It depends on what's available. Obviously, we have the tight ends position figured out, so I think that's good. Cole Kmet's a beast, will be for a long time. And obviously just fill out the rest of the roster. And then obviously if you could go ahead and trade and get Sam Darnold, I think that's the Bears' only realistic option where they could honestly roll and become a much more complete team and actually get some pretty decent quarterback play enough to push them into the playoffs. And then, of course, start Riley Ridley, for Christ's sake, because I don't understand why they haven't started Riley Ridley in a Bears uniform for more than, like, a game.
So, Brad, just to recap, you want to work a little bit backwards. You want to say go for the tackle in the draft and kind of insulate with draft picks, and then get the wide receiver, and then get the quarterback.
Well, I mean, like, however you get Sam Darnold, that's like their only realistic option this year.
Okay.
You're not going to get Russell Wilson, and if you do, you're going to have to give up so much to get Russell Wilson, whether it's either players or draft capital, that you're going to suck anyways, and there's just no chance to fill those holes. Like we talked about, Russell Wilson can fill a gap if you lose a Khalil Mack and Roquan, but I mean that's half your defense you just lost there. So
imagine though, like your offense has a bunch of weapons on it. It's got two good wide receivers, a great offensive line, but your quarterback is Rex Grossman. Now, do you think that those wide receivers are going to be getting a lot of chances to make plays if the ball is getting delivered like a foot behind them every single time?
Well, absolutely not. No.
Yeah. That's the only problem. I worry about the quarterback position first. That's just the first place my mind goes to. But
no, you should.
I could see that. I think if Sam Darnold were to actually be given a situation like that, I think he could really flourish.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest. If in my opinion, with the quarterback, if you're not getting Trevor Lawrence and you're not getting Zach Wilson, and Josh Fields is still kind of up in the air for me, I'm not really going after a quarterback in the draft.
Understood.
Blake,
what are you thinking? If you were the Bears GM right now, Ryan Pace, what would you do to fix the offense? If it's fixable.
That's a tall task, man. I don't know.
Very tall.
Like I was kind of saying. Same thing Brad said is definitely offensive line for sure.
Yes.
And then I don't know. Do you see if anybody would take Khalil Mack? Do you get rid of him? Is he even worth anything anymore? Because I don't know. I feel like the past like last season and the season before, he really hasn't done all that much. But I don't know. I'm not watching him that closely.
We have two expensive ends right now that really haven't been made. I mean, they're considered linebackers on our defense, but they just the guy we got from Dallas is not working out. And clearly Khalil Mack is aging, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like this is kind of a dire situation that we're in right now. I mean, the regression's not going to stop just because like we get a young quarterback. So
Do you
it,
think
it,
do you think Pace is back next year?
No, I think he's
that's a
gone.
very good question.
Really? I could see the McCaskies being like, "Oh yeah, stay another year."
Dude, this is
Kind of what
why I
they're doing
told you
right
guys,
now, if we're being honest. Shit.
Come on,
This is
man.
why. This is why I told you guys. I don't know if I want to be a Bears fan anymore because this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I really do think that if the Bears go 8-8 again this year, or less than that, which I think there's a really good chance that happens, I don't think he's coming back next year. But you're right, the McCaskies, you never know.
Can't cut it
In
out.
the
Can't
name
cut
of
it out.
continuity, you never know. For the sake of not firing someone, we might keep Ryan Pace. You never
Yep.
know. Yeah.
Pandemic.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
fire.
Yep,
it
there's
was
your
a
excuse,
pandemic.
your kicker. The pandemic. They didn't have a full real season. Okay.
That's
Oh my
that's
God.
dumb.
Kill me. God,
We
kill
fought
me.
through adversity through our 6-game losing streak, and we beat the worst teams in the league to make it to the
That's
playoffs.
what's gonna
Promotion.
happen. We're gonna beat all the teams that we should, and then maybe one team that we shouldn't, and then we'll still end up going like 7-9. And they'll be like, yeah, real growth. We're seeing some growth, you know.
They
All
collaborated.
that
They
collaboration
talked to
is-
each other. They stroked each
all that
other off.
collaboration's finally
Keep 'em.
paying off. Man. Yeah.
Bear down.
Chicago Bears.
Dude,
Yeah,
if
we'll
we
be
ever
right
argue
here
about
in
the
that
Bears,
game.
Hey, we're gonna.
whenever
Hey,
I
they
talk
did.
about the Bears, Brad, shut the fuck up.
I was making a really funny joke, and you just cut it off, man. It was gonna be
Well, 'cause
priceless.
I was talking. Whenever I think about the Bears, dude, I just get depressed and I just think of gloom and doom. All right, Brad, say what you're gonna say.
Well, Blake needs to start it off again because he's the one that did it first.
No, that ship has sailed.
Oh well, he was
All
basically
right.
said Bear. Yeah, it's already sailed. I'm done. Hey, you fucked it. You guys fucked it up.
Hey,
Sorry to our audience because that was gonna be great. That's high quality freaking content right there.
Oh, okay.
Maybe for
It
another
rarely
day.
is. It rarely is.
All right, Dev. We'll see about
Yeah.
that, buddy.
Hey, we got a men's league game tonight. All right, don't be chirping. We're gonna put some goals in the back of the net.
That's how you win first place. By the way, yeah, you gotta. Of course, you chirp. You gotta play the
Hey,
mental
we
game,
got-
Dev.
We got first
Mental
place
game.
on the line tonight. If we win tonight, then we are guaranteed the first seed in the playoffs.
Dang. Brad, you
I'm
better
gonna
not fuck it up.
I hope
All I'm
you-
gonna be
I hope
doing
you-
is
you,
just
you ate
screaming
your
and hollering
wings
at
this morning,
somebody.
bud. Get out the muscle massager, the one that pounds your muscles into submission. You need one of those.
Yeah, get loose.
Get loose.
I'll get loose. It'll be in a
wanna
different
see,
kind of way, but I'll get loose.
I want to see some Panarin one-timers out there.
Panarin one-timers.
Yeah.
But one timers to that woman's face.
You don't want some. Yikes!
Brutal.
Oh man, that's a sad note. I don't even want to touch back into that whole business, but man, having to have him leave like that, ouch.
I think it's a fake thing.
Probably
I
a
think
fake thing, you
very
know. But
political right now. He was
Yeah.
speaking out against Putin, and someone's fucking trying to.
Yeah,
Someone's trying to cover that shit up.
Everybody who
Yep.
speaks out against the Kremlin and for some reason gets these mysterious charges on them, and then they end up getting poisoned and put in jail.
Right. Yeah. That's some scary
Fuck.
shit.
What a fucked way to live. Hey, random question. Since we're on the hockey topic, who would you guys rather have right now? Panarin with the money that he's making right now in New York, or Dominic Kubalik with his current contract right now?
Ooh.
Panarin.
Kubalik's
you mean-
making like $2.5 million right now.
3-7.
Yeah, I think it's 3.7. That sounds right.
Yeah.
It's 3.7.
Yeah. He got a raise.
I'd rather have Panarin just because he's an all-around more dynamic player.
Yeah, you're basically asking if we'd rather have. Well, I guess.
Kubalik's very streaky.
Yeah,
He's not consistent. You're
Yeah,
getting
I'm
a super.
definitely
You're getting
taking
super.
For
You're getting
the
a star
money,
talent
though.
player in
For the money.
Panarin who's going to drive your offense.
Panarin is he's like a point per game player right now. I think someone could probably check me on that, but
Yes.
he's got the same sort of role though. I mean, the Blackhawks use the umbrella on the power play, and they put Kubalik on that right side for his one timer, and he's got quite a shot. He's got a
does.
blistering shot.
I just.
I 100% agree,
talent
but
overall, in terms of overall, what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. All right. Overall
Talent?
Production, I just
Production?
think
Value.
he's not there on Panarin's level.
Not to mention, let's all talk about, I mean, Showtime and Breadman together. Must-see TV. You can't, no matter how, I don't care what kind of money they're making. I mean, Kubelik's not going to match that whole, I guess, just the connection that they had on the ice and the way they think and play the game. I mean,
Well, everybody
it's so
thought
beautiful.
Panarin's production was based because he played off of Patrick Kane, but he ended up becoming a better player playing without Patrick Kane.
I don't know if I'll bet. I mean, sure, because he's not playing with them, so maybe his totals went up. But I think you could see right away that Panarin wasn't good because he played with Kane, and then became better when he played without him. I just think
We're saying he developed as a player, when he left Chicago, and I mean, he led that Rangers offense last year.
Sure.
He scored at will last season as the number one guy.
I would definitely agree and say that Patrick Kane is definitely kind of like boosted or I guess vastly improved his career too as well. I mean, he learned a lot from him while he was over here in Chicago. So.
Oh, definitely. I'm just saying, like, he's a star on his own. He doesn't need like a Patrick Kane.
No, he doesn't. He is a star, but nice to have two superstars in the same team or same line. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Looks like we lost one, huh?
It's all right. I don't know. Should we wrap it up? We're getting close to
dude.
almost an hour and a half.
One last thing we have. Illinois, the Illini beat Michigan.
Let's go.
So I mean, they demolished them last night.
Yeah, they were up by.
They did.
They were up by 30 at one point.
They're looking good, man. I mean, I think they play Ohio State, so they got
Yep.
one last game, and then
Big Ten tournament, and then the big dance. And
Shit.
but we and Seymour were talking. What if because Loyola's ranked like number 21 right now? So what if Loyola and Illinois meet each other in the dance?
That'd be sweet.
I don't know who I'd go for.
Man.
Illinois basketball coming out, baby. Let's go.
Hell
I don't know
yeah.
who to go for either because Loyola's pretty cool. And they're more obviously the Chicago City
One thing
team.
that I like about DeSumo is the fact that he's from Chicago and he decided to stay in Illinois and
Ball out.
play in Champaign.
Yep.
I wish there was more guys like that.
Yeah. Everybody wants to go to Duke and North Carolina
I
and
know.
Kentucky.
Well, dude, they're garbage this year.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, hopefully we can start getting a pipeline of Chicago players to Illinois. That'd be pretty sweet.
That's what you want
Hell
to see.
yeah, man.
That's what you want to see.
Competitive Illini basketball.
DeSumu's leading the way for that.
We just need another undefeated
Did we
team.
switch topics really quick?
Yeah, we're wrapping up the
you
show.
missed a little bit. We're wrapping it up. We switched to college basketball a little bit here. We're talking about U
wrapping
of
up
I.
the whole show.
Did anyone watch that game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I
Did you
saw
watch that
the
game?
end of it.
How was that? Was it like domination, start to finish?
Pretty much, especially the second half.
I was gonna say the second half they went on like a 27 to
Yeah.
7 run. I mean they just
Let's
absolutely
go.
turned on the
When's the last
afterburners.
time Illinois had like a baller, like either basketball or football team?
2005. 2005.
Wow, dude,
When they were
insane.
when they were undefeated.
They went to the championship game that year and lost to North Carolina.
and lost. Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna start following. Dude, March Madness is right around the corner.
Yep.
Illinois is gonna be a top seed. It's gonna be really fun to watch.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
hyped.
know who my early pick right now is. It's definitely not Villanova. I think someone's gonna beat them.
Well, I don't even know where Villanova's ranked right now. Are they even in the
Or Gonzaga.
top?
I'm sorry,
in the top
Gonzaga.
five.
Who is ranked? Who's number one?
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga's number one?
Villanova's
Oh,
top
shit.
10, I believe. Villanova's top 10.
It's Gonzaga, then Baylor, but Baylor just lost. But
Yeah,
a bunch of
Baylor
a few of their players have COVID. Baylor lost to Kansas last weekend,
Oh yeah.
but a few of their players I heard are on COVID. So,
Ooh.
which sucks because it's like 2 weeks before the fucking big dance.
2 weeks before the tournament. Wow.
Yeah,
Sucks.
that's shitty.
Well, they should be back, but they're going to be rusty. Probably.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll find
What
out.
you gotta do?
Loyola's 20th right now with a 21-4 record. So they're coming out.
Loyola might make it. There you go.
Oh, Loyola, they're in for sure.
Oh, yeah? There you
yeah.
go. So we're going to have two Illinois area teams.
Yep.
That's what we're
That's
saying.
awesome.
I hope they play each other because that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
What?
that'd be sweet. Yeah, I like Loyola's coach.
Yeah.
Was it Porter
Porter.
Moser?
Yeah. He's a good
He's a great
coach.
coach.
He's a solid dude.
Is there anything else? Any last notes anybody wants to go over?
I think
Oh
we talked about a
yeah,
lot.
Mac Jones over Jameis Winston. Just had to get that in there.
Mac Jones over Jameis Winston. There you go.
There you have it, folks. There you have it.
Oh
Sign
my
off.
God. All right. I'll wrap it up this episode of the Chicago Shoot the Shit podcast, and we'll see you next time.